Assalamualaikum. Welcome to video 14. This is IAS 24 related party disclosure, relevant for SBR students and not FR students. And it's very important for SBR students because often this question comes in your ethical question in your SBR exam. Okay, ethics mostly comes from related party, this topic. So normally this is you have to write about it. You have to disclose if there are any related party disclosure. You have to identify who are related parties. They will normally not ask you a calculation, a numerical question on the standard. Okay. So who is a related party? A related party is an entity or a person that is related to the entity who is preparing their financial statement. IS 24 is giving the rules which should be used to determine the existence of related party relationship. A related party transaction is the transfer of any resource, service, or obligations between the related parties, regardless of whether a price is charged or not. So, this other related party. A person or a close member of that person's family is related to a reporting entity. First, we'll see the person who is related to a reporting entity, then we'll see an entity that is related to a reporting entity. So, A. And in your exam you could be asked any of the scenario, so you have to know this total list of who is related and who is not, because if you are not able to identify who is related or not, you will not be able to apply IS 24. So a person or a close member of that person's family is related to a reporting entity if that person has control or joint control of the reporting entity. Control means you are having more than 50%. Okay, joint control means when 2 or 3 people are having a unanimous consent before making a decision. That is for joint venture and joint control. Next, having significant influence over the reporting entity. So the person is having significant influence means they are an associate, more than 20 and less than 50%. Is a member of the key management personnel of the reporting entity or of the parent of the reporting entity. So they are the key management personnel. For example, they are the CEO or the CFO or the financial manager, the finance director, people like in the top level. They are not low level or middle level managers. Someone who can influence the decision making. Someone who's sitting there on the board. Could be a member in the reporting entity or the parent of the reporting entity. Then they are related to reporting entity. Next category, the B. This is when an entity is related to a reporting entity. If any of the following conditions apply. First, entity and the reporting entity, they both are the members of the same group, which means parent, subsidiary, and their subsidiary are related to each other. One entity is an associate or joint venture of another entity, or an associate and joint venture of a member of a group of which the entity is a member. Both entities are joint ventures of the same third party. One entity is a joint venture of a third entity and the other entity is an associate of the third entity. So that joint venture and that associate are related because they are both member of that third entity. Now, entity is a post-employment defined benefit for the benefit of employees of either the reporting entity or an entity related to reporting entity. If the reporting entity is itself such a plan, then the sponsoring employees will also be related to the reporting entity. Sixth, the entity is controlled or jointly controlled by a person who are identified in A. That means could be controlled by associate, subsidiary, joint venture. Person identified in AI as a significant influence over the entity or is a member of the key management personnel of the entity. Entity or any member of a group of which it is a part provides key management personnel service to the reporting entity or to the parent of the reporting entity. Now, the disclosure. So that's about identifying who are the related to reporting entity, both the person and the entity. So you are supposed to disclose relationship between parents and subsidiaries, irrespective of whether any transactions have taken place between them or not. The name of the parent and the ultimate controlling party if they are different. Key management personnel in total and for each short-term employee benefits, post-employee benefits, other long-term benefits, termination benefits, and share-based payment of each of these key management personnel needs to be disclosed separately. Okay, for example, what is their employment benefits, what is their post-employment benefit, for separately for each key employee you have to disclose. You don't have to aggregate them, you have to show it separately. Next, for related party transactions that have occurred, what is the nature of the relationship and the detail of the transactions and the outstanding balances. Disclosure that should be made for each category of related parties stated above and includes amount of the transaction, amount of outstanding balance and their terms, allowance for doubtful debts relating to the outstanding balance, the expense recognized in the period in respect of irrecoverable or doubtful debt due from related parties. Now, let us go through an example. Let's say a vehicle is having a carrying amount of 10,000 where the market value is 12,000, and at the board meeting, the finance director has authorized that the purchase of the vehicle will be for 8,000. So at the end, invoice relating to this transaction was unpaid. This is a related party transaction. Why? Because the finance director is a key management personnel. So it's very important for you to identify who are key management personnel and who are not. Okay. So this related party disclosure notes should disclose the transaction amount of 8,000 and also the balance outstanding of 8,000. If the debt is considered to be doubtful, you have to make the allowance regarding the 8,000 invoice. This also you have to disclose. Now, remember, if you're not disclosing a related party transactions or its amount, it's unethical. Okay, that is the common scenario which is often tested in SBR exam. In your question number 2, from your exam kit questions, you have to do questions 10, which has related party disclosure question. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next standard, which is IAS 27, which is again applicable for both SBR and FR students. IAS 27 is separate financial statement.